Hey everybody, Josh with JDS Sign Supply, and today I'm here with Matt Edwards from General Formulations, and we're going to talk about all the solutions they have for windows, walls, and floors. Matt, thanks for being here today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate the invite. What can I do?
So, General Formulations has a lot of really unique applications for walls, and in recent years, technology has changed to make these applications easier for installers. Talk a little bit about the adhesives or the films that would give installers more confidence when applying vinyl directly to the wall.
That's a great question. So along with the evolution of adhesives, we find different things within the adhesive that make it easy to apply to low surface energy type products or paint that's hard to stick to. So paints that are easy to clean are generally going to be harder to stick to. We have a different thickness coat weights, different acrylic adhesives, and then microsphere beaded adhesive like on our 226 wall product. It makes it very easy to apply, then easy to remove later cleanly. But again, it's all about the paint and what you're applying it to. In reference to our 234 being a fabric, we have a little thicker coat weight than normal, what helps to apply to a wall that's slightly not smooth, may I say, right? Because we know paint brushes and rollers can kind of depict what that finish is going to look like. But they've come a long way, and we're really looking for easy access to putting it up and then easy clean removal later on. So those, we really have come a long way.
That's great. So you have different finishes and textures in your wall films. You have adhesives that help the material stick to the wall. What does the installer need to do? What questions do they need to ask to their customers, and what do they still need to do to prepare the surface for these films?
Well, great question once again. So walls, like vehicle graphics years ago, walls are different. So again, we have high-tech paints that are easy clean, easy wipe down. Then it makes it a little more challenging for what it adheres to. We've included a new high-tech removal adhesive that bonds to these harder surfaces. But in prepping, again, I'll remind people like a vehicle is one of the most important things when wiping it down and cleaning it. We have a document online that helps you walk through step by step. But in general, we call it the Mr. Miyagi. We have one wet, one dry, where you're loosening up something on the wall and then wiping it off. So generally a soap and water type wash, and then you have to let it dry. And even wiping it down with isopropyl alcohol, where you cut it 50% water, 50% isopropyl, then for your final wipe down, and making sure you're getting the corners, again, like a vehicle, where you're going to put the film. So when it adheres, it's going to adhere well. But again, we also have the hand samples that we would recommend testing, because there's different paints, different textures. Again, that's why we have different films for different obstacles or solutions.
Okay, and so for a painted surface, what are some of the questions an installer needs to ask their customer before applying material?
Whether the wall's been painted recently, if it has, what kind of paint, has it been primed before painted, making sure it's enough dry time by the recommendations of the manufacturer of the paint or the facility manager to find out whether, what kind of paint's been used, the brand, and check. There again, we have a lot of information about the paints to use and paints probably to stay away from on our website too, to help that installer. But again, the biggest thing is, has it been painted? If so, how long? And if it's dry, because we're talking about dry to touch versus dry to cure all the way through. I know we wouldn't recommend it until it's dry to cure all the way through, or it could have a failure or something that's coming down when it shouldn't.
Perfect. That's really good information. And before we move on to the window films, I do want to highlight the film that's in front of us right here. This is one of General Formulations' more recent wall films. Yes. And this is your 285 rough mark.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this film, how it goes on, what it's used for.
Yeah, 285 is really particular, really interesting. In the world of wall wrap, it's always generally be permanent type graphics, very expensive material. And we've come up with a product in a 3.5 mil. It is a opaque film, printable on a matte white, and we also have a matte clear finish. So it's used in instances where someone's got a brick wall, a block wall, where it's semi-smooth, or you can see here where it's got some kind of texture to it, but not a really deep texture. But they want to be able to use that for a point of purchase or directional signage or advertisement. They don't want to drill holes and put banner clips to hang a banner. Oh, that's a good inexpensive solution, but you're left with, degrading the wall. And maybe an old wall, maybe historic. You want to make sure that you can put that graphic on, it bonds and then removes. And the 285 has a particular, again, I'll mention HTR, high-tech removal adhesive, has 2 mils of adhesive. Again, kind of an oxymoron, high-tech removal, but it is really unique because a standard vinyl may have 1 mil of adhesive. This has 2 because of the texture, because of the extra bonds it needs to adhere to. They're again a wide variety of surfaces. So whether it's putting it up and then be able to remove it cleanly, that's the key. Whether you're wrapping a cement pillar, we call it a faux brick here like this as well, or maybe it's a painted brick block wall found in arenas and schools and colleges, a lot of industries and buildings where they want to put signage and they want to be able to remove it later as well. Again, it could be left up if they wish, but we talk about clean removability up to 6 months.
That's great. So this film really allows the sign shop to market material to an event or a marketing company or something like that, and really make use of all of these rough textured surfaces, whether it's a short term or even a long term, like you mentioned. This film will last a while when installed. What tips and tricks, what tools do you need to install something like this?
Well, that's a great question, because there's very many different type of buildings, different kind of bricks, different mortar, old mortar, new mortar. Just like paint, you want to make sure the paint is firmly affixed to a wall. Same with the brick. You want to make sure that the mortar is not loose, it's not crusty, the bricks aren't coming off. And if it's painted, that's be inspected, because if you have something that's loose or bubbling, if you go to put any adhesive on it, you're going to remove it and then pull the paint off too. But we just ask that it's been inspected and it's in a condition which can be applied and removed. But that's the biggest thing, is making sure the wall can take a print and remove cleanly, again, whether it's unpainted or painted, and that has an effect. So if moisture gets in and it's wintertime, that's the other thing too, can affect it where it's not going to fully bond. We want to make sure it's put up in the right way and right fashion. And our website has documents on rough mark and how to install it and some of the things to look out for too. That's
cool. So heat, a textured surface roller of some sort really helps work the vinyl down into all the fine detail that you can see here. So this is a really cool product.
It is. It's great, and it also, obviously, we sign sticking to concrete and such, and cement and brick and block walls. Also sticks to plastic, like your A-frames that people quite often use, and they want to put a graphic on it. All they do, have to wipe it isopropyl, put it on, and then when they're done, it can remove cleanly. Again, because of the high-tech removal adhesive, it's very key.
That's great. Well, wall films aren't the only cool thing that General Formulations have. You guys have a number of different window films that we want to take a look at next year.
Yes.
So, all right, Matt. So one of the first window films that I want to talk about is the 790 AE. What makes this film specifically so unique?
Well, that's an interesting question too. What's unique about it, number one in my mind, is that the fact that it's aerograss. It's an etched glass film, and we've all seen etched glass films used in a wide variety of applications, whether it's offices, corporations, homes, for decorative, or full-on coverage to make it look like it's etched glass, right? To cut down on light or give it that soft look. But what's, again, unique about it is it's aerograss, so it's dry apply. And it's one of the most frustrating things to do is apply etched glass, well, wet apply. It takes longer as well. The other unique thing about it, we call it our print and privacy, is the print part is the fact you can print on it with latex, solvent, UV, and give it a soft look or a logo, or you can just give it a fade. You can do a wide variety of things with the film. Again, easy to apply. And we do recommend after you print it or for installing it, whether it's for a print and cut or a full-on cut version on the window, to use an application tape. It allows it to hold sturdy while you're squeegeing it on, trim it, then remove the tape itself. So we do recommend that.
Very cool. So 790, you can add a lot of really unique features and get really creative with adding some privacy to office spaces, retail stores, etc. Now, if you don't want to add privacy, but you don't want your standard white vinyl sticker up on a window, you have this 255 optically clear, and we have a couple different versions of this. So tell me a little bit about this film. Why would you use optically clear? And how we have it displayed here. Talk about the versatility of this film.
Yeah, optically clear films are, again, unique. The fact that a lot of inks nowadays are translucent, unless you have a white ink print system. But we're taking consideration a general print shop would not have white ink. And what they're able to do is create an illusion, a soft look, a transition in an office space, or maybe an ad of some sort, where you can see an ad like this, or maybe if you're making it look like a sky or a scenery, but then you're actually seeing through it. So you're getting light that comes through, you're getting a soft look to it. But again, what's unique about this is the fact that being optically clear, it's a 3mm, it's a calendered film, but it's a removable as well. So we recommend all optically clears to be wet applied. We recommend using application tape as well after it's printed. But the fact that it's removable later, you can change that film out to put up another graphic too. And there's some that are permanents, but there's some that are removable. But being on the calendered side, it's very cost effective. It's very reasonable to do this for a space, again, either in commercial, an office, a school, or even for a POP or a point of purchase type event, and then remove cleanly later.
That's really cool. So, and as you can see here, we applied this one in a right read on the surface of the film, and then over here we did this. We print it in reverse. And we print it on the back side of the film. So, optically clear really lends itself to, if you don't want the vinyl to be on the outside, you can do it inside, and just offer some different variety for the customer.
Yeah, no, the inside-outside thing is important too. We know certain, we've talked about some in the past, so regulations for the township or whether it's a mall or whatever, some people want graphics on the inside and not the outside so they can clean the window easily, or so someone can't pick away if it's someone's walking down the street when they're closed per se. So that's really unique about that, being optically clear inside or outside.
Cool. So Matt, with the 255 being optically clear, there's a couple different ways you can apply this film, right?
Yes.
So over here, we have a second surface application or a reverse print inside application, and over here we have a first surface or right read printed material. So this offers some variety as well to the customer.
It does. Again, whether you're printing solvent latex UV or some of the new white ink systems that are out, it allows you to give an illusion of something floating on the glass. You're covering a large area. Again, inside or outside, and whether it's some regulations tied to municipalities or even some stores and malls want the graphics on the inside because they want to clean the window and not have a graphic in the way. It also helps too on certain city applications that have graphics on the inside so they're not picked at or destroyed on the outside per se. But yeah, so if you're printing on the inside, reverse print, put it in, but you can see through the image and still clean the glass either way. But it's a wide variety of printing, again, latex, UV, solvent, but again, a 3 mil calendered, and it's a removable product. So when you're done with it too, you can remove it. Again, if we're going to apply any optically clear, we're going to recommend wet application fluid, a commercial based. We're going to recommend you use an application tape. Put it on, get it where you want, squeege it out, then remove the tape itself. And then again, later on, you can remove that product cleanly off the window and repeat.
Perfect. We like removable adhesive.
Absolutely.
General Formulations also has some window perf. Let's talk first about when we say 50-50, 70-30, 80-20, what do those numbers mean to a customer?
Yeah, so what those numbers really mean, and we'll have a wide variety of series numbers, but we want to focus, as Josh says, on the 50-50. We have a 70-30, 80-20. Those are just 3 of the ones we have and probably the most popular. But the first number is the actual surface to hole ratio. So 50-50 for vehicle or DOT. It's going to have more holes. It's going to be, you can see through it easier, right? And you move on to a 70-30, 70% surface, 30% holes. It's going to have a bolder area to print on, right? So if you're doing storefront graphics, building graphics per se, that's going to be the most vibrant type that you can get at that level. And then we moved on to the newest. We thought 70-30 was great. 80-20, which that's phenomenal on storefront graphics, building graphics. It gives the best bold image and still has the ability to see through the graphic out into the street front, or allows light in, but it also does a couple other things too. Helps UV, helps on cutting down air conditioning as well. And it's a safety thing. So it's on a window and you're coming through a doorway, you're going to see what's on the other side, as well as not cause any problems in and out of the doorway. But these are very easy to install. They are removable adhesive as well, and they're up to 2-year outdoor durability. And some people may want to laminate it, and if they do, it makes it easier to install and easier to remove. We're going to recommend laminates though on the vehicle, right? So it doesn't get dirt and grime in there. Again, to keep it clean and easy to see out. But that's what we're going to recommend. And the 242 is the optical clear permanent film that we recommend for that product too.
Okay, perfect. And I see on the display here, the back side is exposed, and that looks like that's black. Why is that black and the front side is white?
It's a good question. So it's really made in 2 different composites. You have a black film with a white film on top, and then it's punched obviously after the adhesive coated. But you need that black back. So if we're looking out the window and the graphics on the applied on the outside, the black is like it gives the optical illusion for the eye in order to see out. So if it's white looking in, it's harder to see. Your eye doesn't see as much of what's going on. But if it's black, you're able to see through that. And that was there again, really interesting. Again, if you ever get a chance, put something on, look inside, outside. And that also has the ability to where they use it on interior graphics for promoting as well, whether it's on glass or plastics per se. But these products are designed for glass applications, so you have that clean removability.
Very good. So just to recap for our customers and our listeners here, the 232 is your 50/50. If you choose to laminate it, use an optically clear so you can still see through it.
Exactly.
This is recommended for passenger vehicles, but we always advise that they check with their local laws and regulations, correct?
Yeah.
And then if any of these can go on a retail store window or anything like that, but as you step up in those numbers, so 70/30, you're leaving behind more material, and so your image is only going to get better the higher that number gets. So
Correct, right.
80/20 would have an even more vibrant image,
Correct.
and still have that visibility on the backside.
Exactly. And they're, again, fairly new to the industry as we know it. 70/30 is quite popular. 80/20, I encourage people to check it out. And there again, it's all about brand imaging and messaging. It's the way to go.
That's great. So before we wrap up, we got to talk about some of the floor films that General Formulations offers. They've really grown in popularity. Let's talk first about your 210, and here's a small sample of the 210 Graffic product. So what surface do these go on, and what should a customer consider as far as laminates and things like that with floor graphics?
The 210 is a low-tech floor graphic, and it was designed for smooth polished cement floors, smooth tile floors. It's designed for easy application and removal, as it was designed again for a POP or point of purchase, up to 6-month clean removal. With this day and age now, people sometimes want to last longer per se, but it's a graphic that's easy to apply, easy to remove. And we'll talk about the 212, then we'll talk about laminates. The 212 is the big brother to the 210, and that was brought out for carpet, for low pile commercial carpet, for wayfinding, for directional, for ad space, but it's designed to go on and then remove cleanly too, up to 6 months. Again, both surfaces, whether it's a floor or carpet, has to be clean, can't have dirt or grime. If it's in an environment of a fast food, it's got to make sure it's really clean because of the grease and oil that gets on tile or floors. Super clean. Carpet's got to be clean and dry. Only a simple fact, when you put it on, you want to be able to move it cleanly as well. But that high-tech removal adhesive that's on the carpet also does something interesting for those hard to apply surfaces that are smooth, but they're not exactly smooth, or they're conditions where they're not sure they're going to stick it to carpet or a floor in a retail environment where they have big box stores, they have both. People have moved to the 212 to do both and to make sure it's going to be firmly affixed. Again, both really work well in their segments, but the 212 does have the ability to kind of do both, with the only caveat that 212 high-tech removal will stick a little tighter when removed. But it does a good thing too, because you can use it on both. Now the laminates are particular because if you're on carpet, you're on your commercial low carpet, prevent any kind of punctures from heels or traffic, we recommend 1 of the 2 laminates because they're thicker. The 109 series is a 5 mil. It's a very hard PVC matte finish. And our 211 series, it's a 6 mil. It's an embossed, has a slight gloss finish to it, but both are thicker, harder laminates. Those can be used across the board, but we recommend if you're going to put them somewhere, put them on carpet, not a softer laminate on carpet, again, for that puncture resistance. That being said, the laminates can be used anywhere. The other 2 laminates that are more cost effective is our 217 is a 3 mil. Again, it could be used on smooth cement, concrete, smooth floors. And then our 213, which is a polypropylene. And what's interesting about that, it's great for floors, approved for floors, like our other 109, 211, and 217, approved and certified for floors. But it's also approved for indirect food contact. So someone can actually use a 212 carpet, on a floor with 213 laminate, and as well as on a tabletop, whether it's in a college, school, restaurant, and such, whether advertising, or is it still keeping up your social distancing, or whatever it is, they're able to use that. Again, for indirect food contact applications for counters and food service. So one can be very versatile.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of different.
There's a lot of different things, but it's exciting the fact these sign shops can now take advantage of these opportunities to then promote and advertise where they never did before.
That's really neat. And so when you say certified, we're talking certified for slip resistance, right?
Correct.
So it's safety.
Correct. There's a half a dozen type testings that are done to it too, that are on our website or on our technical data sheets as well. That'll give them all full information about it. But yes, they're for slip resistances. That's what they're designed for floors. And we've been doing this since 1996, believe it or not. So a lot of testing every year. The films are actually tested for UL 410. So that's also encouraging.
That's great. Matt, there's a lot of different films that General Formulations have. We really appreciate you spending some time with us today talking about the films we've discussed, and we look forward to more films in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me out too, and have a good one.
You bet. For more information about these products and all the General Formulations products we have, call us today at the number below or check us out online at JDSSignSupply.com. Thanks for watching.